There is a hierarchy within the field of medicine. This, along with some good pub trivia and dirty mnemonics, is what the last 3.5 years of medical school has taught me. And as a student, I'm very aware of my place at the bottom of that ladder. Next year, I start work as an intern and I do get to step up a rung. But when I look up towards the top, I can see that I have a very, very long way to go. And there is a reason that this hierarchy exists. The higher up you go, the more experience you have, the more education. Everyone understands their position on the ladder, their scope of practice, if you will. This hierarchy exists to keep patients safe. I decided to apply to the Wattle Fellowship because one day I'm going to be much higher up on that ladder. I will have that experience, I will have that education, and one day I'll also have the power that comes with being up the top. That's a big, big responsibility, and I decided that when I had more power, I was going to use it to make change. I would advocate for sustainable hospital practices. I would lead projects to reduce waste in the operating theatre. I would write guidelines and speak at conferences and publish research. I thought Wattle would be the perfect way to learn some of the skills that I was one day going to need to make change. But when it came to developing my project plan, I really struggled. On one hand, I had this vision of myself 10 years in the future who was ambitious and really dreaming big. But on the other, I was just a student stuck on the bottom rung of that ladder. And so I tried to cut back my ambition and narrow down my ideas until I had one that fit comfortably within my scope of practice. But Wattle is not a program that lets fellows stay inside their comfort zones, and so I was pushed somewhat forcibly to keep dreaming big. In the end, I settled on the idea of a workshop, one which combined my passion for sustainability with my love for women's health. The idea actually came to me during an elective placement which involved assisting teachers in local high schools with sexual education classes. In one class that was all about managing menstrual periods, I noticed that not a single sustainable product was discussed. And then when I reflected on my own experience of high school sex ed, I couldn't remember any mention of menstrual cups or reusable pads then either. And menstrual waste is a massive problem. The average person will use and throw away in excess of 10,000 single-use period products throughout their lifetime, and each of those products requires energy, water, and raw materials for manufacture and transport before ultimately ending up in landfill as plastic waste. And yet, the Victorian curriculum does not require sustainable menstrual products to be discussed in high school sexual education, and so they aren't. And as a result, nearly 40% of young people in Victoria report that they don't use sustainable menstrual products because they don't have enough information about them, especially high school students. So I decided to create a workshop called Bleed Lightly. I would go to schools and colleges and sports clubs, and I would empower young people with the knowledge and the skills that they needed to make sustainable menstrual management choices. Now, I'm not a teacher. I'm not a professional workshop facilitator or sexual health physician or menstrual cup manufacturer, and I'm certainly not a graphic designer. This project did not feel within my scope of practice, but thanks to Wattle, I had the tools and the guidance to start making it a reality. When it came time to reach out to organisations to pitch my workshop to potential audiences, I put it off, like a lot. I avoided sending emails, I didn't make time for phone calls, and I told myself that it was because the project wasn't quite ready yet. It just needed a little bit more tweaking. But really, I think I was nervous about how people would react, that they would read my pitch and they would look at me and see all of those things that I am not. So imagine my surprise when I finally did hit send and every email got a positive response. No one saw my years of experience that I didn't yet have or skills that I hadn't yet mastered. They saw my passion and they liked my idea. They wanted to help me make it happen. The City of Melbourne liked it so much that I was awarded a Climate Youth Action Grant to continue my work, and I'm now on track to deliver workshops for over 200 people by the end of the year. When I started the Wattle program, I wanted to develop skills that I thought I'd need one day to make change. And I have done that. I've learned amazing things through Wattle. I've learned about systems thinking and theory of change, about impact evaluation and workshop facilitation, about visual communication and graphic design, about multidisciplinary teamwork and writing grant applications. But most importantly, I've learned that I don't have to wait to reach the top of a ladder to make change. I don't need decades of experience or a fancy job title to put those good skills to use. With passion, an idea, and a willingness to learn, I can make a difference right now. And I am confident that each and every one of you can too.